Good morning, and welcome to the love and the light that is Unity Church of Overland Park. Whether you are joining us for the very first time, or you've been with us for a lifetime, know that today this is your spiritual community. Know that this is your home, and we trust that you will feel nurtured and supported and loved. I want to do a special recognition to the fathers that have joined us today and to the fathers that we carry in our heart, because today is Father's Day. And even though we celebrate it still in this distancing mode, we want to bless all fathers around the world. So I want to share with you a thought from a daily word from several years ago that was about fathers. It says, expressing love toward each person in my family is one of the ways I demonstrate my love for God and recognize the Spirit of God in my family members. Today, I express my love for my father. So if your father is living, take a moment and express your love to him. Know that he is loved, and if your father has passed away, reach out with your heart. Bless him in a prayer and honor his memory and spirit, telling him he is loved. And if you are a father, know that whether your children are near or far, you too are loved. Thank you for being a father. You may notice some differences in today's service. This week we'll continue with our shortened service format that eliminates some of the congregational musical elements. Rest assured, we will have retained our solo music, and the other music, the congregational music, will return next week with our June 28th service that will be live streamed from Abdullah. So take a moment to like us and share with your friends on Facebook that you are at Unity Church of Overland Park Sunday service. For those of you on YouTube, we welcome you especially also. Every Sunday morning as we begin our service, we intentionally light this candle. Unity calls this the Christ candle, and we light it remembering the words of our brother and our way shower Jesus, who said, "You are the light of the world." So just take that in, breathe that in. You are the light of the world. And holding that as our truth, let us affirm one of Unity's foundational statements of truth. Say this together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. And so it is. And so good morning, Reverend Kelley.
Good morning. It's so good to see you. Well, now we have the opportunity to affirm that the perfect and right minister is coming to us right now as we go forward in our minister search. So I invite you to say with me, centered in gratitude and joy, we embrace our senior minister who co-creates with us a thriving spiritual community. And so it is. And now I invite you to just become a little bit more centered. Take a deep breath in. Feel yourself fully present in this time that we are about to spend together, knowing that it is sacred time, that it is the appointed time. We open our hearts and our minds to the Christ within, to the Christ within ourselves and within every person in our community and in the world. We open our hearts especially to the father figures in our lives, present or having moved beyond. We are so grateful for the guidance and the love that they have shared with us, and for this opportunity to come together today in community, to be able to recognize that at the core of our humanness, there is love, there is light, and there is the way. And it is our great opportunity to be present here now, to hear the inspiration through music, through words, through that knowledge of connection that we know we have despite our distance. We simply thank God for all the blessings that are coming into our lives as we speak, and release this prayer into that great mind, fully complete in the speaking. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Kelley. So today in our community update, I want to speak just for a moment about the process of returning to Abdallah. We will be there next Sunday, June the 28th, for the first time in a long time. Before we get there, Abdallah will thoroughly disinfect on Friday all of their areas, all the high contact points. And we again will touch those high contact points with disinfectant when we get there on Sunday morning. Staff will do that. So I want to encourage you that if you feel that you are ready to return to participate in a service in the physical, please take advantage of the handicap parking in the back of Abdallah, because the front door will not be unlocked. They are asking us to all come in the back entrance. We will be limited to the first floor. And so just enter through that back door entrance. And then we're going to ask you as you come in to pause for a moment as one of our staff members takes your temperature. Because we want to ensure that we don't have anybody actively with a temperature in the service. We ask you to wear masks and to follow the social distancing guidelines of 6 feet apart, no hugging or shaking of hands. We will provide masks if you don't happen to have one, but we do encourage and expect everyone in the service to be wearing a mask. We will not have any youth and family ministry activity on the 28th. We will not have hospitality following the service, and we will not provide bulletins. Those are all possible means of passing the virus, and so for the moment we're not doing those. And we want to acknowledge that if you are not comfortable attending the service in person yet, we fully understand. If you by any chance are symptomatic, we do not want you to come to us. We will continue to live stream the service via Facebook and to YouTube, if possible, from Abdallah. So having said that, I look forward to welcoming those of you who want to come in physical person and all of you who want to join live stream to our service next week. So having said all of that, Deb, if you would.
Thank you, Reverend David. I'm looking forward to next Sunday very much. Sorry about that. I was making some notes while David was talking there. So now is a time in our service where we bless our offering. And I invite you just to take that energy of your offering in whatever form it might be, whether it's financial, whether your offering is showing up as your authentic self, it's a kind word toward others, it's a prayer, it's sharing your time and your talents. There are so many ways that we can offer part of ourselves to others. And that takes form of an energetic contribution into the world. And so I just invite you to take that energy, that offering that you make, and hold it between your hands or hold it against your heart space. And just say with me, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am joy-filled and grateful. And so we thank you for however you contribute, whatever form. And if it is monetary and you send it into our office, we appreciate you using our address, 535 North Merlin. Or you can also go on our website, click on the donate button, or in the e-news, you can click on the Tithely app. And so now it is my opportunity to invite Kelley Hunt, who will be joining us via live stream.
Good morning, UCOP. It is a joy to be with you this morning. Here we go. Will I walk in love or stand in fear? It's up to me. Will I tell a lie or be sincere? Well, it's up to me. Will I live the life that I was born to live? It's up to me. Will I hang tight or will I give? It's up to me. It's up to me. It's up to me. Well, it's all up to me. Will I hide my heart, let it show? It's up to me. Or will I stay put or will I go? It's up to me. Will there be regrets on the day I die? It's up to me. Or will I spread my golden wings and fly? It's up to me. It's up to me. It's up to me. Don't you know that it's all up to me? Is it up to my brother, my father, my sister, my mother, my doctor, my lawyer, my teacher, my preacher? Is up to me. You know it's up to me. Don't you know that it's all up to me? It's up to me. It's up to me. Don't you know that it's all up to me? Oh, yes, it is.
Thank you, Kelley. That was great. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. That quote from William Shakespeare's play, As You Like It, speaks to the idea that our lives are lived stories. We human beings are natural storytellers. We tell ourselves stories of all kinds. Some are even true. We even help one another tell stories, like the story on the side of this mug given to me by my grandson. It tells the story of the world's greatest grandpa. And for me, that's a great story that I can hope might even be partly true. Sometimes our stories are ones that we once were true for us, but are maybe not true now. When I was a 4-year-old boy and I compared myself to the adults in my life, my story was that I was small and weak. But if I pull that story out and tell it to myself now, it only makes me feel small and weak. It's not a true story of me as an adult. Some stories change, while some keep the very same structure and words that we very first heard. You may have heard the childhood story, "You're too little. You cannot do that." We usually retain that story as, "You are not enough. You can't do that." Each of us has stories like that limit us. As we grow, learn, mature, we also develop stories that empower us. I think one reason that we come to a place like Unity Church of Overland Park is because we can gain the insights and the skills to more intentionally write our stories. Now, I've been in Unity long enough and exposed to numerous writers and who all make the same type of claims. They use words like, "You are the author of your life. Take charge of your life," and "become the creator, not the victim." And we do. We take the tools of visualization, affirmation, vision boards, and countless other techniques, and we craft a life that we think will bring us happiness. We have all done things like manifest parking places, trips to distant places, a new job or a new relationship. And sometimes we feel like it works great, and sometimes we feel like we did not get it right. I suggest that our personal storyline is not about getting more and more on the physical level, but a story of a fundamental transformation in our understanding of what we truly are. When we deeply understand our story, our focus shifts from trying to change life circumstances to actualizing our spiritual potential in all of our activities. There is an inner author working within each of us right now. Our authentic self calls us to evolve beyond our current understanding into the light of spirit that we are. In our human lives, we see ourselves as the lead in our own story. In many ways, it's like taking part in a commedia dell'arte play. Now, commedia dell'arte is a medieval form of improv where there is no script, only stock characters. The old curmudgeon, the young lovers, the fool, the sly trickster, to name just a few. And there are no lines written. There's no script. But before the play starts, there is a simple outline creating the structure and the problem that the play is to resolve. And then each actor simply stays in character, reacting from that character and playing off what others say and do. The play becomes an organic creation that grows into new and hopefully intentionally funny situations as the improv progresses. Commedia dell'arte is a simple case of art reflecting life. We live as if we were the lead in our own story. But if we have understood the truth of ourselves, we are actually called to become the author. Becoming our own author is a spiritual practice of becoming our authentic self. Robert Brummett, Unity minister and educator, writes to this idea in his book, Living Originally, and I want to quote from that book. He says, "At the deepest level of your being, you are the author of your life. At the surface of your consciousness, you are but a character in a story authored by your authentic self. The divine potential within you is the author of this story, which is your life as you have experienced it. You, as you know yourself to be, are but a character in the story of the evolution of your personal self into the Christ." And I end his quote. If we take up the practice of authoring our own story, we need to understand that it's not about doing it right. Rather, it's about being it. I have to shift my focus from future outcomes to questioning my current state of being. And in so doing, I look at the story I am telling myself and I ask, what role am I creating? Am I writing myself as a victim? Am I writing a story of good and bad, of right and wrong? Am I limiting my possibilities? How can we become aware of what we are authoring? One tool to use in becoming more aware is to take paper and pen and to ask, what are the major periods of my life? Call them stepping stones to the present moment. And I write them down. And then I can take each stepping stone and have an internal dialogue with it to explore that experience and what it means for me. I first learned this process 40 years ago as I experienced an intensive journal workshop. Now, at the time, I thought that becoming quiet and having an internal conversation with a period of my life was an interesting thing to do, but I did not understand why I would do this. I still thought of my human experience as something largely beyond my control. I did not understand that I could become a conscious author and give my life meaning as well as direction. One of the stepping stones I identified in my life happened in the 90s. It's a period I call fragmented now. In my dialogue with this stepping stone, I wrote this comment, and I want to share it to you. I said, "The struggle for time to discover self is partly the reason I feel the now is fragmented. As I learn to release my mind control, turn to and empower my feelings, then I must come to trust. Trust my inner self and trust God." Ah, trust. That's the big one. I end my writing. You see, at the time, my story felt like one of struggle. And it was not until later that I found great value in the fragmented now stepping stone. I look at it now as a time of being in the cocoon, where my old understanding was dissolving and was transforming into a new understanding of self and life. What I saw initially as struggle was transformation happening at the outer edges of my capacities. And possibly most importantly, I was moving into a new chapter of soul growth and becoming. The power of authorship allows us to feel our response to our life experience deeply and completely. It may be joyful or it may be painful. No matter, we willingly accept the moment and our feelings as valid. We also accept that our experience matters to us. It is real, it is important, it is ours to engage with. Accepting the moment and our feelings as real allows us to consciously live our story. We get to trust our authentic self. We get to trust God's presence and God's love for us. The power of authorship is important for us to understand as individuals. It is equally important for us to understand as a spiritual community. We are the collective author of the story of Unity Church of Overland Park. If I was to name the last 2.5 years of our recent collective history, I would name it Change, Change, and More Change. And if we were to dialogue with that period, we might hear something like this. We have experienced one wrenching loss after another. We have lost ministers, buildings, friends, classes, and activities that we once did consistently. We have become gypsies who cannot find a place to settle down, and now we cannot even gather together in person. The time has been uncomfortable in so many ways. I feel so tired and I want it to end. What I notice about the period of change, change, and more change is that this spiritual community is resilient beyond expectation. That our story is not about loss so much as it is about our transformation into a new, divinely created expression. Yes, we do not look anything like we did 5 years ago, much less 25 years ago. And our world has changed, and it looks nothing like it did then either. Transforming into a new expression of God-called activity and being can feel uncomfortable and even painful. The new story, though, will be worth it if we accept the power of our authorship. There is an inner author working within Unity Church of Overland Park right now. That author calls us to evolve beyond our current understanding into the light of spirit that Unity Church of Overland Park is called to be. How will we write the next period for our spiritual community? I suggest that we will take time to become quiet, that we will ground everything that we do in listening within to our divine guidance, that we will allow ourselves to deeply and completely feel our response to our shared life experience. We may laugh with joy, or we may cry with sorrow. No matter, we willingly accept the moment and our feelings as valid. We also know that what we do matters. The story that we are writing is real. It is important. And we will consciously live our story as we trust our inner author. We trust that God and our author is writing a story of great good for us. So, author. Where is the author? We are the author. And the next chapter is ours to write. So, namaste. Take a breath, if you will, and let us step into a time of meditation. If you're comfortable, I invite you just to simply close your eyes and to focus for a moment on your breathing. We breathe into our heart. We breathe. And as we follow that breath into our heart, we know that we are stepping into that place of inner authorship. So for a moment, we just experience a quiet moment, connecting to our heart, connecting to the hearts of one another. And we make room, we make space in this moment for the presence of Spirit. That divine light and love that we give so many names to, we know is in us. And as we breathe, we know it as us. And so, sweet Spirit, we ask simply for your guidance in this moment. And we will become quiet and we will listen. In this holy moment, we breathe in the light of Spirit, and it fills us up. And we breathe out the light of Spirit, and it blesses our world. Again, we breathe in the light of Spirit, and we breathe it out to bless the world. And one more time, we breathe in the light of Spirit, and we breathe it out to bless the world. And so in this holy moment of blessing, we take those names that we have brought in our minds and we put them into this moment of prayer for guidance, for healing, for nurturing, for abundance, for whatever purpose we hold for them. And we know that God is there, that all that they may need, all that we may need, is already given to us. if we will but say yes. And so we say yes. Yes for ourselves, yes for our brothers and sisters, yes for our world. And knowing that in all ways God is working to bring about good, we say with grateful hearts, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen and amen. And I invite you to take that deep centering breath, coming back to this time and to this moment as we allow Kelley Hunt to put a final blessing on this time together.
All right, everybody, here we go. Where does God live? Deep inside of me. Where does joy live? Deep inside of me. Where does love live? Deep inside of me. Tell me, where does God live? Deep inside of me. Now do you feel those good vibrations way down in your heart? Getting rid of all lamentations with a brand new start. Where does God live? Deep inside of me. Oh, tell me, where does joy live? Deep inside of me. Where does love live? Deep inside of me. Now tell me, where does God live? Deep inside of me. We have got to remind each other when it seems there's no way out. We don't have to look any further. I just want to sing and shout, where does God live? Deep inside of me. Now tell me, where does joy live? Deep inside of me. Where does love live? Deep inside of me. Oh, tell me, where does God live? Deep inside of me. Oh, come on, lift up your voices. Get up and clap your hands. It's high time that we remember we got to make a stand. Where does God live? Deep inside of me. Oh, where does joy live? Deep inside of me. Where does love live? Deep inside of me. All right. Where does God live? Deep inside of me. Oh, 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 where does God live? Deep inside of me. Oh, where does joy live? Deep inside of me. Tell me, where does love live? Deep inside of me. Where does God live? Deep inside of me.
Thank you, Kelley. That was wonderful. And thank you, Terry Sturgeon. I so enjoy watching you sign during the meditation, the message, and the music. So thank you so much for that. Please join us on Zoom following today when there's an opportunity to just give us feedback or just connect. And you can also stay up to date. Sorry, I lost my notes there. You can also stay up to date with UCOP through our e-news, Facebook, and website. And also just a reminder that UCOP kids and Uniteens will be having their own Zoom meeting following our service today at 11. And Kelley Corbett posts that information every Sunday morning on Facebook. Just in case you want to join us this morning, that would be great. And again, join us each weekday at 11:30 for our ongoing meditation, Interconnections. This Monday will be Reverend David's last meditation with us. And then beginning the following week on the 29th, Reverend Kelley will be joining us in that time slot at 11:30 on Mondays. And join us next Sunday on the 28th, when we'll be returning to Abdallah Shrine Temple at 10 o'clock. And this is for David's last Sunday with us as our interim minister when he presents his message, Aloha and Mahalo. Terry Swope will be providing the musical entertainment. And in the midst of these restrictions, we want to have a little bit of fun. So since David's message is Aloha and Mahalo, if you have a Hawaiian shirt in your closet, just take that out, dust it off, and join us on Sunday with your Hawaiian shirt as we enjoy being back together in the company of one another. Also, Tiffany Crabtree will be joining us next Sunday as our platform assistant. And also next Sunday, instead of our annual meeting, we will be having a sharing circle that will follow our service. And we hope to be able to add that as a Zoom meeting as well. In need of prayer support, please leave a message at our office at 913-649-1750 or email us at ucop@ucop.org or contact Silent Unity at 816-969-2000. And so now I turn it back to the wonderful Kelley Hunt for Blessed Always.
Blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say Amen. Blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say Amen.
And now, please join me in affirming the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And then finally, remember that we are a community with a mission. Please join me in affirming that mission. Unity Church of Overland Park transforms lives and empowers people to make a difference in the world. God bless you all and have a fabulous week.